Oh, she said the N-word.
I'm sorry to stop down again. It just hit me wrong to hear her drop ends in knockoff Uggs. Like it just hit me all the way wrong. Hey, shout out to all of the subscribers and members here on the channel. Don't forget to give the video a like. I am Reese Waters, and this is Racist of the Week, where we explore the stupidity and hypocrisy of discrimination in hopes we can build a more perfect union. And also laugh. As usual, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Racism. And of course, if you have any nominees, you can drop them in the comments. You can email me at admin@ReeseWaters.com. Today's nominee, this Kentucky Karen.
Because you're a racist bitch.
Yeah, she made me that way.
Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. There are too many Karens for me to keep up with. They really are. Like, I don't have the time, the energy, or the inclination to sit here and address every Karen. It's kind of like yelling at everybody that's not obeying the rules of traffic while I'm on my way to my destination. If I were to behave like I want to, I would be in jail and wouldn't be no channel. But this one took the cake. I had to sit down and address this one because it was the way that she legitimized her racism. She feels like she's protected. Let's dig in, shall we? Laundromat Karen's unhinged response after she's filmed in dramatic confrontation. A woman in a Kentucky laundromat warned Trump's in now after she admitted to dropping ends on video during a racist meltdown. The viral video caught an unidentified Karen in the middle of a heated encounter with a woman of color before she stormed out of Laundry Express in Florence. "'Cause you're a racist bee," the minority woman told Laundromat Karen as she left the building. "Yeah, you made me that way," the Karen called back as she walked towards her car. Wonder if they had any kind of relationship. Wonder what she meant by "you made me that way." That sounds familiar. That sounds like that judge in Michigan who talked about how Black Lives Matter had made her a, quote, new racist, as if she wasn't a whole judge and had an active hand in the criminal justice system that they took to the streets to rebel against. I mean, the lack of self-awareness should that be a class? You know, when we reconstruct the Department of Education, we have to have a class just called self-awareness. Or maybe that's something people can major in school. The woman of color said she heard Karen drop ends, and Karen admitted it. "You're right, I did. If you act like one, you are one." Astonished, the woman of color walked out into the parking lot looking to record the Karen's license plate. "Trump's in now, remember?" the Karen said while leaning against the car to block her view of the license plate. "That's an absurd statement," another person off camera was heard saying. Now, under normal conditions, pointing to who the president is to legitimize dropping ends would be an absurd statement anytime after, I don't know, the 50s. Before that, that was racist. Well, Woodrow Wilson is in now, so, you know what I mean? He dropped ends at the State of the Union, so you know what I mean. I'm just quoting him. I'm just singing a song. Maybe you could have got away with that before the 1950s, but then after that, it became an absurd statement. Until now, we live in a time where saying who the president is because you drop ends is actually not an absurd statement. It's nonsensical. Like it doesn't necessarily legitimize what you did. It definitely still makes you a racist Karen, and history will tell that story. That will definitely be the narrative. But Too many people point in that direction. There's too much smoke up there on Pennsylvania Avenue. Email addresses, phone numbers, relatives, they even got neighbors down here. Oh, I didn't know Willie lived on this block. This video is sponsored by Aura. This is what data brokers do. Their whole business is collecting our personal information and selling it to anybody willing to pay. And you know who's willing to pay for people's personal information? Nobody good. That's the answer. And these data brokers are literally laughing all the way to the bank before presumably stopping off to make it rain on Capitol Hill. Y'all can't forget Clarence Thomas. Make sure he gets flued out. Now here's where we have to do the work that our government won't, which is pretty much all work. And I know, as do many of you, exactly how invasive it is to have your privacy violated. I remember that one ex who got into my email. She was better at networking than I was, but still, I didn't feel comfortable or safe. And that's why I started using Aura. They find the data brokers exposing your info and automatically sends opt-out requests to get it taken down. And if something does happen, you're covered with up to $5 million in identity theft insurance and 24/7 US-based fraud support to help you fix it fast. You can try Aura for free for 14 days at aura.com/ReeseWaters, which is more than enough time to start getting your information removed from these sketchy sites. And I mean sketchy.
Because you're a racist bitch.
Yeah, she's made me that way.
Oh, I'm glad I got you on camera.
I just got to stop down real quick to the people that said you made me that way. This is reeking of black fatigue, the black fatigue dialogue that we had to address last week. This is reeking of the black fatigue dialogue. You made me that way. So let me get this straight. We have to deal with the centuries of one-sided historical oppression. Not just the slavery, but the lack of reparations, and then the redlining, unable to get loans, discrimination in housing, discrimination in the job market, discrimination in the criminal justice system, discrimination in healthcare. We've been dealing with that for centuries, but your justification for being racist now is that we are still bringing those things to your attention. And here's where it gets really crazy. They're the ones who like to call people on the left and progressives snowflakes. You call us snowflakes when you have an inability to even hear or grapple with the level of oppression and discrimination that you benefit from. We really live in the world of the upside down right now. Well, maybe what they mean by snowflakes is, because like when a snowflake drops, it's just like a virgin snow. It's just untouched and unencumbered. And they're saying that you are pure as a snowflake, as opposed to what we have on the right, which is like dirty snow. Like the snow, like when it snows and then it doesn't melt for a number of days, and it just sits, in the strip mall in a pile collecting exhaust. That's what they got going on. So I'm saying you are a snowflake in that you haven't been made completely filthy by the politics of the United States.
Oh, she said the N-word.
I'm sorry to stop down again. It just hit me wrong to hear her drop N's in knockoff Uggs. Like it just hit me all the way wrong. And you know what? You would think I would be used to it. Because that basically would be the unofficial uniform of dropping N's. Would be knockoff Uggs, but it just never feels right.
She said the N-word.
You're right, I did.
She said
you
the
act
N-word.
like one, you are one.
If you act like one, you are one. Trademark Shiloh Hendricks. Now, I hate to quote myself, but clearly enough people are trying to use this justification that they need to learn, unless you have a documented history of dropping ends on white people. That's not a justification. That doesn't make you not racist. Unless you're about to go home and complain that your husband didn't take the trash out and drop ends on him. Like unless he didn't shower after work and you want to drop a filthy end on your husband when you go home, because I'm assuming he's in fact not black, then that doesn't work.
Let me get that license plate.
He might not even supposed to be here. Trump's in now, remember?
That's an absurd statement.
Trump's in now, remember. Now, what do you think she meant by that? What do you think she meant by that? And by the way, I don't want you to answer that question. I'm gonna need Black MAGA. Black MAGA? Yeah, Black MAGA. I would love for you to answer this question for me. What do you think she meant by that when she said Trump's in now after dropping ends? I would love to ask the administration themselves. What do you think she meant by that? Because she just called y'all racist. That's what she just did. She sure enough did. And by the way, Black MAGA, y'all the ones trying to put lipstick on this racist nonsense. She just told you exactly. She told on all y'all.
But people
Trump's
that
here now,
vote for
remember?
him think like that.
We're protected a little better.
Okay, Trump's in now. We're protected a little better. Now, she's not wrong. She's definitely not wrong. If she was, we wouldn't have seen this large spike in this kind of behavior now, would we? She's definitely not wrong in that regard, that they're protected a little better. I would say they're even encouraged. In fact, they just imported 50 more. Called them refugees from South Africa. They're importing people with these attitudes, because I'm sure the South Africans are going to come over with great feelings about minorities and black people. I'm sure. They're importing. So not only are they protected a little bit better, they are encouraged. That is what she's saying, and she is in fact not wrong. And that is what we have to grapple with. But that's the thing. This is something that we know and have understood. This is an openness and a brazenness that they like to deny. When we're talking about how much racial profiling is going on, certainly with ICE, but just with police going about their everyday business. When we talk about the racist policies that this administration is trying to enact, because they had this whole anti-DEI fervor that told me that the only racism was anti-white racism. She's saying different. Yeah, Ugg Lady in Kentucky ain't having it. She throwing a monkey wrench in all y'all plans. She is. And by the way, she's not alone. You can hit all the people that were in the Black Fatigue dialogue, and you can hit Shiloh Hendricks. They messing it up for all y'all. I'm gonna be honest. And let's be honest, it's always one. It's always one. Or somebody always gotta go too far. You remember back in the day when you used to have a substitute teacher and you just say, hey, just work amongst yourselves. And everybody was cool. We were sitting there, playing, doing pencil fights in the back and doing, we had the little, I forget what you call little things where you tell your future and all that. We was all having a good time. And then somebody had to jump on top of the desks and do wrestling moves. And that's when everything got shut down. The principal got brought in. You know what I mean? Like, we was all having a good time. We was all having a good time. And you had to go too far. They were sitting here just ticking off their Project 2025 agenda, just slowly bringing the pressure up. And here y'all come jumping up at 400 degrees like Juvenile.
Everyone here is a legal citizen.
Got it.
Maybe, but not a working citizen
How do you know?
because I can tell.
How can you tell?
Okay. Can we get a highlight on, because she said she could tell, right? And the only way you could tell is just by looking at somebody. So can we get some shots of this lady? Can we get some shots of this lady? This lady told somebody else they weren't working and she could tell. This lady, I haven't heard anything more ridiculous since Steve Bannon tried to tell Elon Musk he wasn't cool enough to hang out with MAGA. And far be it for me to defend Elon Musk, but who ain't cool enough to hang out with MAGA? Well, you need a ponytail? This lady told somebody they weren't working and she could tell. Like, MAGA, when you finish answering my first question, I'm gonna need you to tell me, what is it about the woman taking the video? Now, granted, we can't see the woman taking the video, but the worst she could have came out in public is this. That is the baseline. So you have to tell me, what is it that made her think she wasn't working?
You don't
How
know
can you
anything.
tell? That's what I said. Don't say nothing to her.
I can tell.
Let her be ignorant.
Hi, I need someone up
Let
here
her be ignorant.
on Mount Zion at the Laundry Express laundromat. There's
Yeah,
a
turn the car, babe.
black
You good.
lady that followed me to my car.
No, she's being racist.
because
I
she
got
was
the
being
video.
rude inside, so
No,
I took
ain't
my
nobody
stuff away,
following her. This
and
is a
she's out
public
here in the
parking lot.
with me in my car. It's a black lady.
Never mind, Black MAGA. Never mind, Black MAGA. I don't need you to answer that question. She just answered it for everybody. She just answered it for everybody. Literally, the only description she gave was it was a black lady. I remember back in the day, we used to have jokes about how people would avoid using race to describe somebody. Like, you know Kim. Oh, yeah, Kim. Yeah, the one with the with the black hair and the one with the barrettes. She had the barrettes in the back. Yeah, she had on black Air Forces. She used to wear black Air Forces all the time. Yeah. No, I don't think. No, she wouldn't wear throwback jerseys. It was a lot of throwback jerseys. She used to smell like cocoa butter. You remember Kim smell like cocoa butter? I remember back in the day, we would joke about how in around they would go to not describe somebody by their race. In 2025, that's it. That's it. That is literally I mean, how are you even being helpful to the police? It could be, you didn't say what she was wearing. You didn't give a height. You didn't give a hair color. You didn't give a car description. Nothing. Just a black lady. And I can't hear the other side of that conversation, but apparently that's all you need. Now, apparently those are the magic words. Hell, it worked in Dollar Tree now, didn't it? It might have been Family Dollar. Hell, it worked in Family Dollar now, didn't it?
Oh, I think she's one another woman.
That's
Maybe
a child.
another woman.
That's a child.
Oh, it's a child. Look at it. I can't tell.
That's a child. Exactly, because she's black. That's a child.
You know what?
That's a child.
I'm gonna prove
No, don't you
something.
walk
What?
too free because you're going to
What?
get in trouble. She's a
I'm
child.
not getting in trouble. You don't do that. Maybe you do it over there in Zaire, but you don't do it here.
Oh,
There it is.
That's the race.
There it is.
She's a black woman, you do it in Zaire.
Well, you're black.
Wow.
You're black. You're black.
Wow.
I'm white. And you still don't
And you're a
come
fool.
and throw glasses on the
When did
ground.
that happen?
Deliberately. What?
I deliberately put the glasses on the ground.
They what, fell off the
They
counter?
fell, no, they were in the box and they fell off out of the box.
Yeah.
And now I'm from Zaire.
Now you're from Zaire.
Uh-huh. And in Zaire you do things this way.
Well, because I can't tell.
Could you imagine?
There you go.
You can't
Thank
tell what?
Officer showed up.
What's going on?
She's breaking glasses, and she ain't listening to me.
What
I told her
glasses?
to go.
What glasses?
Right here. You don't do that. You don't break.
Dispatch?
Yeah.
Hey, it's 291, I'm here. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Why are we breaking glasses?
We're not breaking glasses. We got stolen on the box. I came to buy 30 glasses. I told him, with this thing here, it's not going to work because I can't get to the car with 30 glasses.
In my car, it's a black lady. And it was a guy, too.
Oh, and it was a guy too. That's it. I guess by virtue of not calling him colored or dropping ends on him, I'm just going to assume that guy's white. That's just a guy.
I got the license plate. That's all that really mattered to me.
What?
So I got your license plate. That's all that matters to me.
Because she's filming me because she was in there with
Because she called me a nigger and it's on camera. That's why I'm filming her. Tell the truth.
I can say whatever I want. You act like
a
something,
good
you
American
are something.
citizen and tell the truth.
Now, let's for one moment address the fact that she's asserting that she can say whatever she wants. But can the black lady not say whatever she wants? Can she not respond however she chooses? Or are those rights that have been stripped away? Just trying to figure out your understanding of your rights, since you just want to assert that you can say whatever it is that you want. Let's look at the comments. The hate that oozes from her pores. Horrible woman. Trump is not around to save you when you're one-on-one. These bold folks are about to find out. I do not condone her words, but people can say what they like. This is called freedom of speech. She's in the laundromat like she's better than someone else. Help me understand. Are we ready to address that? Are we in a place to address that you came to the laundromat apparently having put on whatever you had left at the house that wasn't dirty to go out in public to drop ends on somebody and talk about how you know that they're not working, and if you act like one, you are one. Are we ready to address that? I mean, really, if there isn't one place to try and reach across the aisle and have a level of class solidarity, it should be the laundromat. You know, we are all in this together, and we all have to have a shared sense of trust when it comes to, you know what I mean? I want to make sure all my socks and all my holy drawers are there when I put them in my bag. You know, we have to have, you know, let me know what machine's not working. You know what I mean? Is this one leaking a little bit? Huh? Is this one get a little bit too hot and cause all my stuff to bleed? And all of a sudden I got a red tint on my dress shirts and my wife started asking questions. Like, these are all things that we need to share while we are at the laundromat. And this is where you decide to bring this level of hate. The Constitution protects her right to say anything, but it does nothing to stop the consequences of those words. Amen. She just said Trump's in there now, as if that would justify any and everything. Only for the 1%, doll. Because for your freedom to be able to say whatever that it is that you want to say to people, has that helped you get out of the laundromat game? Has that helped your prospects at work? Ever since you got rid of DEI and you're no longer needed to diversify the workplace gender-wise, how has this worked out for you? I'm curious. And don't let me find out that you want Medicare and Medicaid. Don't let me find out. Now, this was also covered by Atlanta Black Star, which gave us this. After Trump was elected in November 2024, there was a dramatic spike across the country in incidents of racist and xenophobic harassment, as well as other neo-Yahtzee marches, reported the Southern Poverty Law Center. For some, it appears that Trump's presidency is viewed as carte blanche for vile behavior. This so-called trickle-down racism was studied during Trump's first presidency. A survey of white U.S. adult citizens published in 2023 showed an increase in dehumanizing behavior towards Black Americans in the aftermath of his 2026 election. Trickle down racism? Trickle down, is that what Reagan was talking about? Because they said trickle down economics, but the money never trickled down. So they just are just calling a thing because they were like, well, the only thing that really trickled down was anti-blackness. So we just gonna call it trickle down racism. Is that what it is? Okay, that's fair. That sounds like a whole video, to be honest. Yeah, we'll have to circle back around to trickle down racism. Reported hate crimes against Black people surged following Trump's election, read the scientific report. While only a relatively small fraction of Americans committed these abhorrent actions, we show that Trump's victory had broader effects on the attitudes of the larger white public. Specifically, Trump altered the extent to which white survey respondents described Black people in dehumanizing ways. And that, by the way, we know to be a fact. That is exactly why I got here at the top and talked about how I can't even keep up with the amount of Karens or the amount of racist incidents that we have out here. And by the way, Karens can be men as well. We call them Kens, but I was just using the shorthand. In fact, I was just thinking the other day that, I can't circle around and make a video about every instance of ignorance because y'all have just dropped to a level of too much ignorance in this world in 2025. As opposed to my regular Racist of the Week, I'm going to keep doing my Racist of the Week. How about like a nice little Racist of the Day on social media? I might do that. Y'all have forced my hand just to make sure y'all get the recognition that you deserve. You know what I mean? Because I would hate for you to be out here in Uggs and a sweater in the spring at the laundromat dropping ends without getting the proper recognition. You know what I mean? Like you really, when you put in that kind of time and energy and effort to embarrass yourself and everybody that around you, you deserve your proper recognition. So I will get cranking on that. But for right now, I do want to congratulate you, Laundromat Karen. You are our Racist of the Week. Even better than the Racist of the Day. You are our Racist of the Week. And by the way, we will circle back around on this trickle-down racism. Don't you worry. Yeah, is that about how racism just gets more blatant and aggressive as you move further south? No, I just think it's about how racism just makes less sense as you move down the socioeconomic ladder. I think it's because short people are more racist. That's what I think. I think it's because, I hate to be the one to say it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the way out. And be sure to send me an email at admin@ReeseWaters.com if you have any suggestions for content.
Stop it. Get some help.
And so many of you have responded when I put out the call to action for people that were interested in participating in my lives. I said, if you have something you would like to share with the class, you're working on a project, or you're a member of a group that you feel like would be of interest to this community. City boy! I want to hear from you because I got room on my Tuesday night lives. That's Tuesday at 8 p.m., by the way, every single week. I am looking for more. So if you would like to share with the class, go ahead and hit me up at admin@ReeseWaters.com. While you're at it, those of you that have subscribed to my other channel, Way of Waters, I first want to send out a very solemn my bad. It's been a minute, and I know that it's been a minute.
It's been 84 years.
I have let perfection stand in the way of progress, which would actually be a really good video. I should probably record that as soon as I'm finished here. But in me trying to conceptualize exactly what I want to do there and what it's going to look like, I've been stuck in neutral, and I haven't been putting out all of the stuff that's been floating in my head that I desperately want to share. Well, I'm going to stop that.
Nobody believes in you. What are you prepared to do about it?
And I think the way to do so is by working with other people. So I'm putting the call out to you guys. Again, that channel at Way of Waters is really about meditation and mindfulness and protecting your peace. If that's of interest to you, and especially if you have experience in that field or expertise you would like to impart, I'm looking for potential guests as well as even partners on that particular channel. So check out Way of Waters and hit me up at admin@ReeseWaters.com. And in the meantime, make sure you protect your peace. Take care of yourselves and each other.
Police! 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 Help! Police! Help!
I got that from Springer, didn't I? To think, all the things that I would have taken from Jerry Springer. Because that certainly wasn't what I watched it for.
What street corner can I find you on?